Did you know that the
I don't really
voice of
want.
Goku hates Dragon Ball Abridged?
I believe it. Sean Schummel is kind of an ass, and like he, he's kind of. I've heard people describe him as a.
Oh.
Ooh, I might need to
Yeah, he's
scratch that one from the record. I know we say
yeah.
we say a lot of words here, but I don't know. I guess
uh,
like that kind of
I can scratch that one. I don't.
make sure
I
that
don't
when
want
you
to.
make sure that if you scratch it, which you don't need to, but if you do scratch it, please replace it with a really silly sound effect or remind me to do that. Like
Okay.
I hear some people describe Sham Shemmel as a.
Oh,
I don't have
I
any
do
good
like
sound effects off the top of my head.
I do like a sound effect from fucking SMT4 Final. Just
Wait, but there's no like really distinct one there.
no man. Yeah, like I know this whole like
No. Replace it
when
with Gaston's like angry yelling. Just I hear some people refer to Sean Shem as like "Yag!"
yeah like there so like
No. If we're gonna do that, we need to do a clip from Dragon Ball Z.
no but they'll be copyrighted by
Goku
Funimation.
yelling.
Goku yelling, yes.
No, the will be copyrighted by Funimation.
So?
Let's just do everything. Let's just do everything.
Look,
Let's
look,
just repeat
I
the
don't-
clip
I don't
over
wanna
and
be-
over again.
Like I don't want to be on Funimation shit list.
Don't worry, we already
They've
are.
got-
They don't need to
yeah.
know who we are for us to be on their shit list.
You know, look, like this. God, this has just been my week. God damn it. Like I don't like tend to get myself like look like into the drama and whatnot because like whenever like some sort of drama comes up, if I look into it, I get too like into it.
Yeah.
Your mom is too into it.
But I end up like it's consuming. It's like this sort of like drama's all consuming because ever since like this whole like Vic Mignogna thing's been going on, like I've been nonstop like just like thinking about it and looking things up and trying like and staying on the track. I don't even care about like the Funimation or the dub stuff enough. I typically watch subs and this thing's driving me crazy.
Well,
I
I mean, yeah, no.
I lost track of what you were saying like halfway through that tirade. I'm gonna
It's
be
probably for the
honest.
best.
He's saying that he doesn't want to get like stuck in these kinds of places because it's very, very frustrating and. Well, I'm not entirely sure because I think I might just be projecting at this point. Because
I lost what you were saying halfway through.
Oh no, like
I also don't like getting into these kinds of like thoughts
no,
or things about like controversies and stuff because
yeah, well,
it feels like no matter who or what is happening, you always end up like kind of just walking out of it feeling miserable.
Exactly, especially with how these online mobs act. Like it doesn't matter how right or wrong an accusation is. These online mobs make you feel terrible and depressed because it makes you it makes you feel like can you even have a conversation? Can we even ask questions or look into things or have any sort of resolution? Because now, because of how the Twitterverse is and how everybody's so radicalized online, I'm like, why can't we just chill out? If let law enforcement take care of it, if there's a severe if the accusations are true, and these people legitimately need to like think something's been wrong, go to law enforcement, get this stuff taken care of. Don't bring it to Twitter, because it creates a mob. And the only way that you can get basically everybody to agree upon something's wrong is if there's a legal precedent saying, okay, yeah, this is whatever.
See, I don't know. I've heard a lot of stories about things that you would never even consider for a second being brought up as legitimate arguments, some of which are actually so terrible I can't bring them up here because there is no humor value in any of them, and they're just absolutely awful. But the fact that they exist at all kind of says to me that you can never really get everyone to agree. You just have to settle for a majority.
Yeah, and that's it's just people are terrible online. People are nasty, brutal. I don't like the dub industry like over here. Like, granted, celebrity culture is terrible in the first place, but
this is just
the people.
This is serious cast now.
Yeah, the people behind these dubs aren't good people. They're for fuck's sake, they're actors. People idolize these people. They connect them to the characters. Like there's a psychological response, like, oh, I really like this character. Let me like this actor too. But people go based off their own political or life biases are going to be attached to certain people and believe what they say no matter what, and don't ask questions, and it's frustrating. It's really frustrating because, I think the closest thing I can say to this whole Vic Mignogna thing, and I don't want to make this like a part of the cast. This is just me ranting. I don't even know.
So we're gonna cut this out.
Of course.
We might.
I don't think we've even officially started yet.
I would say we started.
Well, I didn't drop.
Okay. Funnily enough, if I recording this and if we put it up online, we'd probably get a bunch of hits by the nature. I've because I've been following this, and anybody and a lot of there people who have been bringing talking about it have been getting. There was this one channel that was talking about how we need to be. There's a channel called The Casual Otaku who put up a video about it and being like, look, we don't know what's going on. We need to stay neutral about this and let law enforcement or whatever come up. And his channel gained 1,500 subscribers in a couple of days just because he posted that video.
Well, let's remove that segment and then post everything else, because if we admit that how little subscribers we have, then they might notice that we're a little bit desperate.
So, have you guys at all been following this whole Vic Mignogna?
I was only told I was only told the crib notes, which is apparently he's been accused of inappropriate touching. But to put it nicely.
Yeah, nice. So the whole Vic Mignogna controversy is a depressing one at most. Well, depressing at least.
Mars is in love with Xenoblade Chronicles. Okay, keep going.
So
yes, thank you, Tyler.
So when it comes to this sort of these voice actors and whatnot, they're and I'm gonna be repeating a lot of things I've been hearing, looking through online here. This is not like, oh, I'm an authority or whatever. It's just me ranting and bitching a bit because I need some release after this week of depression.
Well, they say everyone says like even you yourself are saying be neutral in law enforcement and stuff, but I'm like, that does not mean you can't have an opinion. I think everyone should have an opinion. It's just don't do something brash go into the guy's house.
Well, there's a difference between having an opinion and affecting someone's livelihood and their job.
That's true.
So
I mean, I'm just saying I'm saying say what you want to say. I'm encouraging you to say what you want to say, and I'm like
So let me preface this. When I first heard the news, when this whole Vic Mignogna thing was going on, I read I didn't read the Anime News Network article because I don't typically like Anime News Network that much. I just look at the headlines. I like to do my own research and whatnot because I know where Anime News Network bias is. But going into the whole thing, I was neutral, but I was inclined to believe that Vic was responsible, to some degree, or wasn't a good person, etc. You know?
Yes.
Oh, let's see. And as time, and this is first by how the accusers have handled themselves, and as I've looked into the information and whatnot, I've kind of shifted the other way where I'm like, I don't know Vic. He's considering the types of voice actors are, because in the process of me watching videos, listening to people, I've listened to and read up on people who've worked with voice actors and people who've worked in the cons, and they're all people all these voice actors are terrible, bitchy people. There was one video where it's unfortunate. Last time I checked, it had very little views, but it's a guy who said he was working at a convention, and the women that were making the accusations, the voice actors like Jamie Marchi and what's her face, Monica Riol. She was the guy was saying that these female voice actresses nasty behind the scenes, and they gossip, they hate on and bitch about their fans in the back rooms, and like it comes just all around. It's like the whole thing with the Vic. It's like, okay, yeah, like he's very very like huggy and kissy with his fans. This is something that's been going on for 10 years. Like anybody who's gone to the conventions and seen Vic's fans and Vic interacts with his fans, he hugs and like he's very affectionate to all of them, and his fans go up and ask him to be like they go up to ask for hugs, they ask for pictures with kisses and whatnot. And if we want to have a discussion about how like is it okay for fans and voice actors to be this like touchy or this affectionate, that's an actual conversation. Because Vic's not the only one that does it. All eyes go on to Vic because he's the most popular voice actor at these conventions, but it's just frustrating and depressing because if Vic's done terrible things, if some of the more detailed and more sketchy actions that people said he's done, like Jamie Marchi told a story, posted on something about him pulling her hair and whispering something sexual in her ears, which that story is already questionable as it is because the details that she's giving aren't particularly helpful, and there's a lot of areas where you could implant your own imagination into what has happened. And I'm not saying it's not true, it's just the way it's told comes off as manipulative. And the way that some of these voice actors, Jamie Archie and Monica Rial, has been acting on Twitter have pushed people away and has been very unprofessional and very toxic. And if they're real victims, I get it, I understand it's natural to be angry. To if someone's hurt you in some way, it's natural to be angry. But if you're trying to make a case for that someone's hurt you, the last thing you want to do is attack people who are just asking questions, because if you go into the Twitter feeds and the Twitter stories and whatnot, there are people asking questions being like, hey, I don't not that I don't want to believe you, it's just we need some more details. And then you have Monica Rial being like, have you seen the meme?
No, I've not.
What meme?
I don't read old. I didn't know
I
burger
am thoroughly
lettuce.
unengaged.
Yeah,
you're unengaged, but I'm kind of just I guess I'm very contemplative hearing all this, while Tara's just I don't care.
I don't think Tara would care about. This is something like.
Tara's off playing Star Realms.
Yeah. Star Realms, the real controversy, Star Realms Gate.
Tara's off eating his Burger King without lettuce.
I never eat my burgers with lettuce anyways.
Alright, sorry, don't want to derail it too much, Try.
Ketchup and lots of pickles, that's the way a burger is supposed to be built.
There was this mall I was at, or this mall in my city area that had this McDonald's for years upon years. I'm just trying to fill space while Try looks up his thing. Mm-hmm. And it just had this McDonald's for years and years, and I never went there because I just didn't really care. I was never there for food. And then just one day we come in and we notice something is slightly different about the mall, and there's a massive Burger King where the McDonald's used to be, and we're like, huh? How weird. Huh. They got rid of McDonald's. Interesting.
Okay, so here's the tweet, and this is not the only tweet of this she's made. It's been a copy pasta of
a copy pasta.
Yeah, she's basically giving the same response to anybody that is not 100% positive, 100% I believe you or supportive or whatever.
Well, that certainly is something. That's certainly not the kind of sentence that you want to make. in this situation.
Especially if you're making a case that you're a victim and you're standing up against somebody who's a monster. And what I worry, and what this sort of thing is definitely gonna cause, is if Vic is innocent, or in reverse, if it comes out that Monica and Jamie Marchi and these other voice actors are just as bad, if not worse, than Vic Mignogna, which there already have been accusations thrown at Jamie and Monica, and there have been convention people talking about how they're not great people either. It's only going to damage something like the Me Too movement and make it harder for people to come out and give their stories, because it's going to create more natural doubt rather than, let's look into this. Let's see if these are true. It's going to be, oh, you're using the Me Too hashtag. Look at the Anime Gate thing that went on. Especially if we're talking about within the anime community. If there is, in cases of if there is gross misconduct, gross negligence, even like sexual assault and whatnot.
So you're saying that what you're really more concerned about, rather than just this particular isolated incident, is the effect is the domino effect it'll have on future incidents, and that no matter who quote unquote wins this case, we all kind of lose in a way.
Yeah, and let's say if they prove,
I do agree with, actually.
They do prove that. Yeah, and let's say if they're right. Let's say they prove Vic gets convicted, or they win a court case against Vic or whatever. This sets a dangerous precedent that you can use the mob for your own benefit. It becomes easier to use the mob to to make somebody ruin their life or become a criminal. Because
Gwendolyn?
Because there's been no real evidence shown other than people being comfortable in pictures with Vic. But to the same extent, some of those pictures shown have been proven to be false. If you go to these conventions, the type of people going to these conventions are going to be the more socially awkward people. I mean, that's the anime community. I'm a socially awkward person, and I watch anime. And
I don't know. See, I didn't even know about the whole Monaco Rial thing. I was just under the assumption he was under fire from fans.
Well, why do you think he's under fire for fans?
I was of the assumption. I didn't know that it was like two voice actors duking it out with each other, more or less.
Yeah. Well,
metaphorically duking it out.
Well, it kind of goes back to this whole thing of Monica Rial and Jamie Marchi are both Funimation voice actresses, and you've seen a lot of the support against Vic coming from the Funimation voice actors. You don't hear much coming from the LA crew that's part of Bang Zoom and the more professional voice actors. In a sense that makes sense, because it's two different scenes, two different cliques. The people in LA are more professional voice actors. They do more games. They don't just do anime. The Funimation crew just do anime. They might do some things for Rooster Teeth, since Rooster Teeth's right over there too.
Yeah, I was curious about that. Yeah. Rooster Teeth sure has a lot of traction these days.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the same sort of thing, and I'm not here to say, hey, look, Vic's totally innocent. We don't know Vic behind the scenes. There was going back to me saying where Sean Schimmel's kind of a
sorry, Sean Schimmel is kind of a pika. Let's just replace the word with any sort of random anime noise.
Videos of him doing a mean-spirited parody of Vic Mignogna came out, that he'd done years ago, where he comes off as saying that, making fun of Vic, saying he's a diva. Actually, let me pull those up, because
wait, so this is an old video?
Yeah. Yeah, these are old.
I don't know if I want to watch this in the middle of cast again.
You don't have to watch the full thing.
Foot lettuce was 26 seconds, so.
Yeah, just get the idea. You can zoom through it.
Oh, this is
this is
this is really heavy. This is heavy cast.
Yeah, this is heavy cast. But This has been a
disturbing
week in the
footage.
Yeah.
Disturbing footage, huh?
Yeah.
Bros in the Landfill, episode 28. Hashtag disturbing footage. The things that are about to be said.
Hashtag disturbing foot lettuce.
Foot lettuce. The things that are going to be shown and talked about in this podcast should not be seen by most people. That being said, you're all a bunch of.
You mean Pika Pika?
I was hoping for a different sound effect every time.
I know. I'm not that creative.
You're all a bunch of Charmander.
You're all a bunch of ow.
You're all a bunch of Exodia Obliterate. And you can all go straight to Blue Eyes White Dragon. You can take this episode and shove it right up your Red Eyes.
Oh, oof. But
Oh, my creaky chair. Okay.
I'm not sitting on a chair. I'm laying on my.
That was right
too
next to the
late to get up.
microphone, too.
Tar, I want you to know something.
yeah.
I said Tar.
What?
Yeah.
Hi.
Tar, go for it.
Wait,
Hi,
no.
you're here with us.
Oh, what?
You're part of the group, Tar.
Why am I? What? I don't know what's going on.
I'm giving you the pep talk. I'm saying that you're part of the group and you're important and we respect you.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Now get
thank
back
you.
to making our lunch. I'm sorry. That joke
Gosh, now
didn't
I'm
really.
hungry.
I don't have the backbone to make that joke. I don't have the backbone to do that, that kind of thing. So do I actually have to watch this video?
You don't. I mean, if you want to just take a look and just see what the sort of thing, you don't have to watch the full thing. It's not really the whole thing's not really comfortable to watch in the first place.
It's just him doing an impression of Vic Mignogna and saying he's stupid.
Good talk.
Oh, I see. Never mind. I'm getting a better picture of it now.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna click on the video. I'm gonna have you guys fill me in.
You know what?
And
Well,
I'm just
Tar-
going to continue not caring.
Yeah. But, let's see what Dizzy has to say about it.
Well, I think what you want me to comment on is the fact that he's making comments that that could pertain to today, but he made them years ago, and that's
Yeah.
not really a good sign for. That's not really a good look, but it's also a guy being silly on the internet. So,
Well,
you know,
Wait. My point. What?
it paints a bad picture,
point-
but it has.
Yeah.
It paints a bad picture, but has no
Well-
I guess. I don't know.
Well, where I'm coming more so with the whole channel thing is this is not the sort of even if you don't like the guy, this isn't the sort of thing you put out there, especially if you're a coworker or whatever. This is
I was thinking about totally the wrong thing.
yeah. Oh no.
I forgot Sean Schemmel was part of this conversation.
Yeah.
Now that I'm remembering,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're saying it's unprofessional
Yeah.
and kind of just overall rude thing to do.
Yeah, because in the end, one of the things that one of the podcast stream things that I was listening to is that the types of people in the Los Angeles crew tend to be your more because I guess how should I the Funimation crew aren't like they didn't start off as voice act really professional voice actors, and they're still not very that professional. They're anime fans who are doing it because they like anime or if it's a hobby or whatever.
Yeah, well, YouTube's not very professional either, and look what
Yeah,
it's flooded with.
Yeah, so
So I guess
that's where the LA crew is your more professional voice actors who do more than just the voice acting, and it's not a clique as much of it's not really a clique up there. There tend to be a lot ruder in the sets. They tend to be they'll do and say terrible things, and then compare this to the Funimation crew, which is very much a clique and very much, oh, we're all friends, we're all whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this outsider Vic who was part of Funimation, but he moved up to LA,
Uh-huh.
and he comes back down, like, because of legacy acting. He was voicing, since he voiced Broly all these years ago, he's doing Broly again. And I can't help but feel that there's a bit of jealousy towards Vic. And that's why this is coming out, because why target Vic specifically? If there's all these problems within the voice acting community, why target Vic? Well, the only thing I can think of is he's an easy target because A, the Funimation crews worked with him. B, he's immensely popular and has an immense fan base. C, he comes off, at least in public, he comes off as a very nice and genuine guy. If you've seen his responses, he's been very much, I don't want to get into this. I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight people. He says he's basically taking a backseat of this, being too nice, and that's in a lot of ways been to his detriment, because without fighting back, the narrative's been strewn that he's I don't know how to word
So
it.
it's like he's pleading the fifth, which is not, which is to say he doesn't want to dig himself deeper, but by not saying anything, he already he's still sinking.
Yeah, and that's where it comes to, but Vic's, at least his public image, because I don't know, because the only people who know the voice actors behind the scenes are the other voice actors, the directors, and the people who the convention workers. Those are the only people who know what the voice actors really are behind the scenes.
And most of them are not legally allowed to talk about it.
Exactly, and for the people I think, and this comes to the Funimation investigation on, because Funimation did an investigation and said that they didn't want to be working with Vic anymore. No shit. If all of your regular voice actors are saying these things, and they say that, they could say, for example, Funimation might actually have evidence, and this goes to court, I'd be interested in seeing this. But the opposing argument is very simple. Why would you risk losing your regular voice actors to protect Vic?
Well, yeah.
Vic doesn't work for Funimation that often anymore. He just does legacy acting. He does most of his voice acting in LA, and he just sends his lines down to Texas.
It actually does seem like, just to completely isolate it from the surrounding stuff, it is better for both parties if they don't work together. Because
definitely. Oh, absolutely. That's something I completely agree with. Don't get me wrong. That's something I completely agree with.
Whether Vic wins or loses, this is the case, or whatever happens on that front, it's I don't think he would want to come back to Funimation after this, whether he wins or loses. Even if he wins, he's like, yeah, let me go back down and voice Broly again. I love being harassed for 10 weeks.
Yeah. And
in a different office building than I normally get harassed for 10 weeks. Because Hollywood sucks. Vic doesn't work for Hollywood.
No, he does most of his voice acting with Bang Zoom and the game voice acting that goes on up there. He was Junpei Iori.
I know he was Junpei. He was a lot of my favorite characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was some really bad roles.
Yeah, just to go back into the whole Sean Schemmel thing. There's a part of the Sean Schemmel video where he's he likes to play as 12-year-old boys, but the way that Sean Schemmel says it is I like to do 12-year-old boys. I like to do, and he says that 100 times in the video, and that's where I go from. Okay, you're making fun of a guy to, this is in bad taste. Because,
yes. 99 is fine. 99 is a joke. 100 is too far.
because I'm not a religious person. I don't agree with organized religion, but you know what? Do it as long as you're not hurting anybody. I don't care.
Well, I don't want to say the next thing I want to say because I feel it would derail things too much, and I'm pretty sure it's not what you mean anyways.
Yeah, well, that's another conversation. I'm just prefacing this. Vic Mignogna is an outspoken Catholic.
What does that mean?
And
I forgot what the word
and what's-
outspoken mean. Does that mean that you denounce something, or does that mean you're completely for
No,
it?
no, he's for it, and he talks about his religion a lot.
Oh.
He's very religious. He talks about his religion a lot, which, with Funimation, who's in the voice action, they're being very liberal. There are some natural biases towards the Catholic religion, and granted, there's a reason why there's some of these biases. For like the whole and this whole, that's where I find this whole 12-year-old boys thing to be in very poor taste, because yes, the Catholic religion has dealt with a lot of pedophilia in its past, and you can even argue it still and say in the present too. But to constantly hammer on this 12-year-old boys thing, pretending to be Vic,
seems like a little too targeting, a little too.
Yeah, it's not a valid criticism of Vic Mignogna in that regards, and that's where it makes at least me feel that the Sean Schemmel parody of him comes off as very mean-spirited and from the wrong place. Is this where it makes me question, is this an accurate representation of Vic, or is this you don't like the guy and you want to paint a bad picture of him?
I think, yeah. I don't know if it's cathartic or disappointing for you, but I pretty much have been mostly on board with or agreeing with a lot of what you're saying.
Yeah.
I guess to surmise it too, it's kind of like you look at this Vic Mignogna kind of controversy and you're wondering, is it Vic is a bad person, or is it everyone is a bad person and they're all very spiteful towards him specifically?
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of stories about a lot of people being bad or even worse, and making such a big fuss about Vic specifically seems almost vindictive rather than out of any sense of morality.
That's basically what I've been saying, but in better terms.
No,
using better words. That was very well put together. But
it's true. And both of us, I think, agree about the whole thing that some of the other guys were saying of the law will eventually find a deterrent, and not a deterrent will eventually find its answer, and that we should have our opinions, but we shouldn't be mean to any one side, but that no matter what anyone else says, this is from an isolated incident perspective. What you are more concerned about, and what I think is actually very admirable, is you're more concerned about the effect that it will have on future incidents.
Well,
and that kind of
really
no matter who quote unquote wins, everyone kind of loses because one side takes a hammering that it doesn't deserve.
Because in the end, what's really sad about these sorts of incidents is you can't prove them. There's no real evidence. There's a lot of hearsay, and that's the same thing with any sort of sexual assault, regular assault, harassment, etc. With unless if you can get something from the horse's mouth, if there's an old text or message or DM where you can catch the person red-handed for saying some of these things that very clearly indict them. There's no it's so hard to prove these things, and I get it. People feel helpless. Past victims, people who've been victims of these sorts of things, empathize and feel horrible it's very easy to say, oh, this person says that they're a victim of something. I'm going to believe them because I was a victim and I couldn't prove it. But to the same extent, there's been stories of people who've one of my classmates has people I went to college with. One of his online friends was accused of a false rape, and thankfully they were able to prove it after the guy was already convicted. The people who accused them actually came out and said, admitted that it was a false accusation.
Oh.
And, I don't know if they came out, but it was proven through their text messages and whatnot. They found the evidence that it was fake.
Ooh.
And something like this makes me think back to the Michael Jackson thing. Because one of the videos I was talking about was comparing this to the Michael Jackson case. Because similar to Vic Mignogna, Michael Jackson is a weirdo, who the media and latched onto as like an other outsider because of his conditions and his eccentricism, and today and even today people even though it was proved his innocence was proven, people still make pedophile jokes about Michael Jackson because that's what's in the public conscious. His legacy's, well, maybe not as bad as it could have been if the innocence wasn't proven after the fact. It's still a terrible shame, and I can't help but feel like that played a part into his later life and in his eventual death.
Well, I mean, I was told his death was like a medicine accident. Anyways, though, but yeah, I do get what you're saying.
I thought that was Elvis.
Like I was saying, what led to the sorts of life decisions that lead to that point? If his life was miserable after that, if it was depression and feeling like the world gave up on you, those sorts of false allegations can wreck a person, and it can make companies not want to work with you anymore, and make you feel ostracized and left out. And that's not to say that Vic's necessarily innocent, or that there's not veracity to some of the claims. But we have to be empathetic to both sides and let law do its best job. And if there are multiple allegations coming out to a person, that's not proof that they've done something, but that's reason to think, reason for both law enforcement to keep an eye and people to keep an eye out to stay safe. So if there is another victim, they can catch him in the act, or catch him right after, or let people know, hey, be careful around this person, or hey, if this person does something to you, don't be afraid to come out against it because other people will back you up.
And to think I had such a simple idea before this began.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. This is what happens when the world sucks and I let myself into that suckiness.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's something that's easy to avoid. It's something that's like really a big part of like things that you're interested in. It takes a big effect on you.
Yeah, it's
kind of like it almost
depressing, man, because I want to believe that people have the best intentions in their heart. I don't want to believe that people are naturally bad people, and this is just one big misunderstanding. Like that's the type of person I am. I'm a naturally forgiving. I'm a naturally let's empathetic. Like, oh, something led this person to be like this, you know?
Yeah.
If Vic did do some terrible things, clearly something's led him to do those things, or if these allegations are false, well, clearly there's something that led these allegations to be a fault. But the Twitter mob is disgusting, and the internet mob is disgusting, and people and granted, I don't agree necessarily with the people who attack Monica and Jamie and the other people that are supporting the allegations. I don't support the people who harass those people, but I at least get where I get why they're riled up and whatnot, because there is real nastiness coming out and real anger and bad, poor taste coming from the people having the allegations. And it's gonna be if their allegations are true, and these are coming from a good place, it's absolutely tragic because they've led themselves to be in this position based off of their actions and their past actions, what they've said, what they've done. And I think the most tragic outcome is if Vic gets proven innocent, but later down the line, it gets proven that they were actually true in the long run, and they can't do anything about it.
The process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Clearly what we need is Phoenix Wright to be on the case, then everything will be sorted out.
That's
just trying to bring some humor into this.
But speaking of Phoenix Wright, I grew up playing Phoenix Wright from a relatively young age. What happened to benefit to the guilt, believing in the guilty until or proving
isn't that only a United States thing? Isn't that why Japan has such a high conviction rate, because you're not innocent until proven guilty?
That's exactly the thing. What makes Phoenix Wright beautiful is that it's this commentary on a society that has guilty until proven innocent, and like, how does that not have parallels to what we have going on right now on Twitter?
Yeah, it's the reason why we have courtrooms and stuff in the first place is kind of to avoid this situation, but
Exactly.
the situation happened anyways.
And like, I can't fault people who are uncomfortable with, like Vic Mignogna right now with all these things coming out, because it's a naturally uncomfortable situation. I can't.
Yeah, it's like, it's like we keep saying too. It's like, of course, it's not wrong to have your own opinions and stuff, but it's like to some people on both sides. In fact, they've already decided what is the answer, what is the verdict before anything else has happened, and they will stick to that no matter how long this goes, and even after it ends.
Because unfortunately, all we really have from the allegation side are accounts and pictures that are circumstantial evidence, and some of which have already been proven to be false. And when you already have, like, there's actually like a famous like Facebook group picture about like thing about someone trying to make false evidence against Vic. It's like that.
I wonder if a picture of me is gonna show up.
No.
I was curious because I was in a panel. I was actually in a Vic Mignogna panel once, like a few years back. Actually, it was nearly 10 years ago. It wasn't a decade ago, but it was nearly 10 years ago. He was in a panel. He was answering. I guess he was talking about stuff, and then he had a Q&A. And I had no sleep at all the night before.
Oh,
I
God.
was dead tired, and I just collapsed. I was like, I was on the floor snoring, apparently. And then my friends woke me up because they were cleaning up the place for the next person. And I was like, what happened? Did I miss it? And they're like, yeah. And then one of them said, like, oh, he made a joke about you, too, sleeping. And I was like, oh, what did he say? Was it funny? And I was like, I wonder if they'll use my picture. If someone took a picture of them, they'll be like, look at how bad Vic Mignogna is. He's doing poor things to this small... Because I was dressed up as an anime character with really long purple hair, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone thought I was a girl. So they're like, look at him harass this poor child. And I'm like,
can we not talk?
Uh-oh.
Can we not talk about long purple hair? Because I for Halloween one year, a group of us were going to go as Vocaloids, and I got myself a purple like a long purple wig.
Uh-huh.
And
You were doing Gakubo.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
It's either Gakubo or Kaito. There's only
No, Kaito's short blue hair.
No, I'm saying
Kaito's like
'cause there's
Marth.
not.
So like,
No,
so
I'm
like,
saying because there's not that many male Vocaloids.
Like, so like I ordered it. I ordered it from like Amazon, and it was being shipped from China.
Oh,
Of course.
yes.
And like this, I ordered it a month before the before Halloween, and like halfway through October, it got held up in Chicago for some reason, and it didn't come until like the day after Halloween.
Oh, and then it didn't fit you, did
sad
it?
face.
No, it fit me great, but now I have a purple wig I'll never use.
All right, well, I have a blue wig I'll never use, so if we ever meet up in a convention, let's go as Vocaloids.
Oh, excellent.
Well-
We got a guitar involved.
Yeah, well, Tar will
Alright.
be
Who
Miku.
should Tar? Yeah, Tar is of course genius.
I'm Miku?
Well, you said Miku was your favorite.
Well then, I can live with this.
I'll be
Actually,
Minato
Gakupo
for
was my
Persona.
favorite for the longest time, but I can accept Miku.
I thought I love how we shift topics so quickly to something so happy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of thised out.
Well, all right, let's... I was gonna
because like the number one thing that's making me like depressed is that like unfortunately a lot of like because I've been following a lot of this. I've been following a lot of like anti SJW people like the
I hate
like-
the term SJW itself. It's like...
what
I just hate these groupings. It's like you're a this
I know,
group, or you're a this group, or you're an anti
I
this
know.
group, and it's like, can't people just be people?
yeah.
People have called
preach.
People have called me an SJW before I even knew what the term meant, and I'd look at them and I'd say, "What does that mean?" And after a while, I'd say, they'd say, "You're an SJW," and I'd be like, "For the love of God, call me stupid, call me an idiot, call me retarded or something." Like
Call me a libtard.
You're calling me. You're saying because this phrase SJW, it doesn't mean anything. It just means blanket term for people I disagree with. And it's like, I'm like, at least if you're calling me stupid, I can like almost make a retort to that. But it's like you calling me SJW is basically you saying the equivalent of I don't care what you say because I've already decided you're wrong.
Let me just
Exactly.
let me just leave it with this last little thing. Remember when the left was about proving helping people, like proving that, like, I guess because the whole like stereotype of like that black people were rapists, that the left was trying to prove that, like, stand up for these people and say, like, look, like just because this person's black doesn't mean that their rape allegations are automatically true. Like I think back to To Kill a Mockingbird. Like, remember when we were like, it was virtuous to say proven like guilty until proven innocent.
No.
Yeah. I don't remember as much of To Kill a Mockingbird as I would like to.
Yeah. I just remember the court case stuff from To Kill a Mockingbird and some like later things because I was really into the whole court stuff. I mean, I started reading it after I was into Ace Attorney, so that's...
Yeah.
That was around the time where I wanted to be an attorney until I realized what it actually meant to be an attorney, and I'm like, yeah, screw this.
Yeah.
Also, when I learned that I'm terrible at public speaking.
Now you see, Your Honor, the defendant. The defendant is not guilty. Can you prove it, Mr. Tryford? Well, yes. Sorry, I'm just a little nervous. Are you nervous because you are guilty? Da-da-da! No, I'm nervous because I just have a bunch of eyes staring at me. A bunch of eyes of the truth staring at your guilt. Can the prosecution please shut the fuck up? Hey, no swearing in my courtroom. No,
Oh boy.
you're not listening.
Yeah.
The defense
Anyways,
needs a
I feel like
quick break. I need a tall glass of ice water. One in the middle of court. Yeah, I know. Just give me a sec. Right, here's my case. Yes, I see it. No, not the... This has been DSY Impersonates Try if he was an attorney.
Yep. Anyways, this has been a long topic. I don't think I have really anything else to add on the whole Vic Mignogna thing other than just me being frustrated with how this whole thing's being handled.
Yeah, I can definitely agree. All right, then. So, any closing thoughts?
Just if you don't have any proof on a matter, stay out of it. If you're don't bring your drama to Twitter. Don't even if it's you've been harmed by someone, don't bring it to Twitter unless you have proof to back it up, because Twitter easily turns into a mob. You're gonna have a lot of harassment towards your way, harassment towards the other way. There are better outlets to do so. It's better to do so anonymously. Go to a news site or a journalist you trust and have this report go out anonymously. Like, the way I would have done this is like go to whatever journalist you trust, give it anonymously, and say that, don't say specifically it was Vic. Say that there's a prominent voice actor. You can even give some, like, say that works for this company or who worked on this thing. Keep it anonymous and keep it more about the problems of convention culture and the problems of whatnot. Because the things that Vic, if Vic is guilty of these things, they would come out during this conversation. The fact that you've made it about Vic has made it a nightmare to deal with. It's diluted the entire problem. It's going to cause more hurt than harm, and hurt than help in the end. But that's my piece. And
this has been the only episode that Try and DSY can completely be in agreements on, unfortunately.
I can agree that we breathe air.
Do we? Because I live on Pluto. Why do you think my internet is so awful? Anyways, yes. Let's cut it here then.
Yep. Bye. Hope you subscribe to our channel and listen to our other stuff that's not as serious.
We're mostly a comedy. Just this one. This is the outlier.
Well, this episode's a comedy, more like a comedy of errors, though.
I don't know. This episode just made me remember my high school days.
Yeah. No, I feel you.